So today I am talking to Nico from Sens Food, which is a sustainable food brand with the world's biggest cricket farm. This interview is aimed at raising awareness overall about the problems and opportunities in the food production industry and how that creates an investment thesis for Sens Food, who are currently seeking financing via convertible note to prepare for a bigger investment round next year. So here we are with Nico. Thank you so much, Nico, for joining us.
Hi, Jet. Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Yeah. So let's start about let's talk about the background of the current food production landscape. And I'm assuming you're saying that it's not sustainable. So tell us also about how the current landscape is not sustainable.
Mm-hmm. Sure. So how I got into this idea of the insect farming is that about 8 years ago, I read a report from the United Nations that was talking about our future and the growth of our population. And so basically the statement was that we will get to 9 to 10 billion in 20 years, people on this planet, and that we will face difficulties to feed like all those people. And so that basically our current system is based, our current protein system is based mainly on animal protein. And so we will have to double the production of this protein to feed the population in 20 years. And the situation is that basically we just don't have the space, Agricultural land is taken by 80% is taken by animal husbandry. And so we just don't have enough space, and it also creates a lot of pollution. And so it's not sustainable to continue in the system we have with animal farming and getting our protein mainly from animal.
Okay, I see. So with all of this, how will Sens be the solution?
So, we've seen in the last years an emergence of an alternative protein segment. So I think we also like the development of alternative protein through plants. There's also algae that comes in place, and we decided to go for insects. So Sens is offering a range of products. So right now we are focusing on the sport nutrition segment because we believe that's where it can start. And so the insects, compared to like all those alternative proteins, offer all the amino acids basically that are essential for the body, the human body, to create protein and to build muscles. So we decided to go for insect and as I was saying, like specifically the sport nutrition for the moment. So the solution of insect is sustainable because it uses much less feed, much less water that is not really talked too much, but that will be definitely a problem in the near future. And it uses also much less land. So basically, we have the same quality protein as beef, but using much less resources. And so that's why we think Sens can provide a healthy and more sustainable alternative to the meat industry.
So I'm assuming if you're using less land and using less water to produce protein, so that means, is there a cost benefit to this as well? Are you competing on cost?
Well, right now, obviously, we are at the infancy of this market. So we are still high in pricing. The cost, the technology is really starting. We're really starting on research on this technology. So we can't compete, obviously, with pricing of chicken that have 100 years of research behind. But we definitely, our strategy is to get to the parity in terms of cost and price in the next 5 years. And so that's why we start already now talking about this and introducing those products. We believe in the next 5 years, the technology will be advanced enough to get to a pricing that can definitely be competing with the current meat protein.
Okay, so why start with the sports industry? Why do you see that as a starting point?
Well, we realized this insect trend started like about 6 years ago, and obviously we have the main hurdle we have is the consumer acceptance. So there is definitely a problem in our Western countries that are accepting to eat insects, basically, which is not a problem in different part of the world, such as in Asia, for example, or in South America. But in Western culture, it's not considered really as a food so far. So we decided to go through this sport nutrition to show first like the benefits and the functionality of this product, of this ingredient, this cricket powder that we use in our product, to some sort of proof already for the mass market before going to mass market, basically. And so for this, we joined. We are joining with Adam Ondra. He's a world champion climber. He's going to the Olympics in Tokyo next month, and so we are sponsoring him as his supplier of nutrition with Sens. And so we believe, like with influencers like this, it will maybe help to change the minds of the current society and show everyone that actually it's a very good alternative. It's healthy and it's nutritious and it's good. It tastes good, actually.
Would you also say that because athletes, they focus more on performance, they would try to seek out what is give them the most optimal benefits instead of thinking about taste or anything? Is that also the reason as well?
Yeah, that's right. There's a lot of benefits as well. For example, like the main example, for example, is the fats. Yeah, energy can come from carbohydrates, protein, and fats. That's the macronutrients. And if you compare like the fats of the meat that we can find in red meat, for example, that are not really so healthy and that create maybe like in the long term can cause like early disease. In the comparison in insects, you can find like really quality good fats, and there's a lot of omega-3s, for example, omega-6, even more than you can find in some fish, for example. And so definitely those athletes can find it's a better solution altogether with the combination of the proteins, the good fats, and lower carbohydrates. Definitely.
Because when you say it's a complete protein, it means that it can 100% supplement traditional sources of meat, right? And having all the same nutrients. That's the definition of complete protein?
A complete protein is actually like our body to synthesize protein and build muscles needs 9 essential amino acids. And so the problem we have with plants, for example, protein coming from plants is most of the plants don't provide those amino acids. It's possible to find all of them, but it will require a lot of research and a lot of combination of a lot of different plants, which you don't have to worry when you eat insects, because it contains like all the 9 essential amino acids, same as the meat, basically, same as quality beef. And so this allows your body to synthesize the protein much easier.
Okay, I see. So you've been going after the sports nutrition market. You said you have a sponsorship of a professional climber and all like that. And so let's talk about Sens's growth so far. How has the growth of the company been in terms of revenue and growth into markets?
Yes, sure. So originally we had a retail strategy that has been put in jeopardy because of the COVID, obviously, last year. So we decided to switch our focus to online strategy, and so that's when we started to discuss with Adam Ondra and this community of like outdoor segment, basically, all sports in outdoor. And so we have started over in online, and we have seen our growth. So it took like a few months, obviously, to build our presence online and to build our shop. But we have doubled in the last 6 months since the early 2021. We doubled our revenues, and so we see a trend now picking up with this sport nutrition segment, I would say. We definitely see a growth and a trend, and we are on track to double our revenue from today, I think, in November. So we will double our revenue. That's the target we have, double our revenue every 6 months.
Okay, I see. So apart from sports nutrition, what are some other new markets that you see huge potential in?
So in terms of geography, first, we right now our Sens brand is you can find the Sens products in Europe online. That's mainly because of regulation, and it's not authorized to sell insect everywhere in Europe yet, but it will come. So we see an expansion and a growth in Europe coming in the coming 2-3 years. But we also want to introduce our products in Asia. So because of Adam Ondra, this climber, world champion climber, going to the Olympics in Japan, we believe that could create a trend for us. There is already some demand coming from Japanese market. And so we believe that Asia will be the next step for us. So, and in terms of segment, so sport nutrition, we want to focus on this in the coming 2-3 years. We believe mass market will be more like in 3, 4, 5 years, maybe, going into the retail properly and bigger market. But we see an emergence of demand in the pet food industry as well. So for premium pet food product, yeah.
Okay, so you see also opportunity in pet food. Maybe talk to us about some other projects that you're excited about apart from just sports supplement.
Sure. So we recently started a new project that is called FlyLab. Okay. And so FlyLab is also a company that will use insects, but that will be for the animal feed industry and aquaculture. Okay. So FlyLab will be using a black soldier fly. It's not like crickets anymore, but black soldier fly is a fly that has a bioconversion power. So it uses agricultural waste, and we can turn that into quality protein for the animal and the pet food industry. So this is our new project. We are building it right now, and we plan to start operation around October, November this year.
So you're planning to start FlyLab as well as Sens Food as well?
So Sens Food is running already for the past 5 years now. So we continue growing this market, and we continue growing the brand, and we want to grow into the mass market, as I was saying, in the next 5 years, reduce the costs to have more acceptance on the food industry. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, we see this opportunity. We believe that the meat industry will not disappear completely. People will still want to eat some meat. Okay, so it needs to change. It needs to get better. But and so part of this as a solution could be like using black soldier fly to feed the animals. So that is still more sustainable than our current system. So that we'll have like the alternative protein insect for the food industry directly to consumers, to humans. But we believe that for the meat eater that will still be there in the coming years, they could have access to a more sustainable source of meat, using black soldier fly to feed them. Okay.
So you're launching this new project. Is it because you see also a larger opportunity into this? Could you talk about why you are getting into this new project?
So we're getting into this new project because mostly because of regulation that has been moving much faster than the human food industry, and also because of the consumer acceptance. So in the food industry, we have to change consumer minds and make them understand and believe that that insect is the solution for the future. Which in the animal industry, obviously, we don't have to convince animals that insects are positive for our planet. Yeah. So yes, and obviously we see definitely a trend and a demand from the animal feed producers that want to be part of like this sustainable change, and that understand that it will not go on forever the way it is. Yeah. So for example, fish meal. The fish meal pricing are going up, in the last 15 years, because fish in the ocean resources are going down, and so it's not sustainable. It's just gonna go up, and we need to find a solution to replace that. So black soldier fly could be an answer to that.
Okay, I see. So from what I'm hearing, the reason why you're pursuing FlyLab is because you're seeing the transition into this as a faster process than convincing humans to eat insect, right? And also, it's also different, a different type of insect used as well, right? Black
soldier fly. Black soldier fly. Yeah.
Black soldier fly. Okay, so this is sort of like it is still the core business is supplying insect protein to different markets, but then the difference here is this. I'm just repeating what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, so the market at first you started with humans, but then you're also seeing a huge opportunity in the animal feed industry for reasons like, you know, there's none of that behavior change type of reason. Is there also sort of an advantage from a economical standpoint? Maybe it's easier, more economical to sell animal feed to agricultural producers than to food production?
Yeah, absolutely. It's part of the reason. What I mean is like the connection is the same, like the goal is the same at the end of the day. Yeah, we want to fix our food system, and the end consumer is us. Yeah, is the people, and so we thought originally that maybe like insect and some other product could change completely the game and replace meat, but actually that's not the case. Yeah, meat will still be there. And so because it will still be there, we believe we should bring a solution to this part as well, make it more sustainable. And so the crickets will be for the human consumption directly through the sport nutrition first, and then towards the mass market. But we need to change, we change people the way they see the insect. They should see it actually as a sustainable and healthy ingredient and tasty. And we work also on this side, which is the animal side, the animal feed side. So for people that will still consume meat, yeah. So we bring a solution to this industry as well.
Okay, that's very interesting. Actually, could you talk more actually about how FlyLabs is fixing the animal feed industry? Like what is the problem there and that needs to be fixed, and how are you fixing it?
Sure. So right now, most of the feed for animals that is aquaculture, that is poultry or that is swine, most of the feed, most of the source of the protein used in these industries come from fish meal or mainly from soybeans. Yeah. So that's the two sources of protein used. Fish meal, so I was saying just before, the resources are going down. There's less and less fish in the ocean, and so the pricing are going up. We will see the end of this at some point. And in terms of soy meal protein is a problem because it causes deforestation and uses a lot of land all over the world. So to solve it create also, we realized basically that there was also available a lot of agricultural waste all over the planet, everywhere. So anywhere there is agriculture, there is some waste. Yeah. So that can be from the soy industry, but that can be from like the beer, for example, the beer manufacturing. We have the spent grains that could be used. That is a good source of feed. We also found some leftover from like the palm industry, for example. And so we realized that black soldier fly, this insect, is actually a bioconverter. So it can use all this agricultural waste and eat it and transform it into a quality protein and quality fats that could be fed directly to the animals. Okay. And also, obviously, so this is for aquaculture, this is for poultry, swine, and obviously insects are also a direct source of feed, yeah, right, for those animals in the nature. So it also makes sense in that way.
Here's an interesting question. If the animal feed industry is converted towards using black soldier fly as the animal feed, that, you know, which is a more sustainable method that you argue, would that therefore make the animal food industry for humans sustainable? Would it therefore make it
Well,
more sustainable for humans to eat meat
well, not
because
com-
these
not
animals are
com-
fed these insects? You know what I
That's
mean?
right. Yeah, sure. Not completely, obviously, because the farming itself or of the animal husbandry is a problem.
Ah, okay.
It creates greenhouse gas emissions, etc. But but it takes time, to transition to something really clean and to
Hmm.
really green. So I think like it's hard to change from like eating meat to like a world that is eating like 100% of meat protein to like something that's completely sustainable and green and insects or algae or plants. So we believe in a transition period, and we believe that we can at least help this transition and bring like a more sustainable way of feeding animals through this insect. Yeah, that is the black soldier fly.
Okay. So you make the case for this being more sustainable for the industry, right? So that's the sustainability case. Now, but in terms of the farmers themselves, what is their incentive, maybe economical incentive, to switch to using black soldier fly as feed?
Yeah. So obviously, this is our main hurdle for the black soldier fly industry. So well, it will be definitely pricing, yes. So we believe, we are sure actually that the parity in pricing will come in the next 5 years. 2025, 2026 will be the year where fish meal, because of the lack of resources in the oceans, fish meal will just go higher than the black soldier flies. Because in the meantime, this whole industry of black soldier flies started about 10 years ago. There were like the first companies going into that direction. And we see already some technology being developed. And so the price, and obviously with the volumes as well, the economy of scale, the price will go down. And we estimate that in 5-6 years, we will be lower, will be a lower price than the fish meal. And so you will have then a better price, but also like a more sustainable product. So that could benefit also in terms of marketing for those companies.
Okay, I understand. So right now, the main case right now is sustainability, but then eventually there will be a point that you can make the economical case as
Sure.
well, right? For that
Absolutely.
this
Right
is a more
now,
beneficial way. Yep.
absolutely. Right now, yeah, the price is definitely higher than fish meal. So that's why we target also the pet food industry, the premium pet food industry. But as we are developing the technology in the coming years, the price will go down, and so we will have a price that makes sense for the animal feed industry, and also like a sustainable point that is beneficial for all of us. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I guess when I'm going to talk about plans for the future, maybe I can divide it up in near term, meaning from now until, let's say, 5 years from now, when when it's economically feasible. Maybe I'll ask first with, so what are you doing in preparation to the point where it's becoming economically feasible? So what are you doing to grow the company or making the case and getting the infrastructure ready for that big transition?
So we start this project towards the end of the year. We will go through a phase of pilot first. We already actually we have pre-agreements to sell actually our first year of production already. So that's where you see there is really demand that is there. And then we will go through a technology development, so sort of period. So that will be about 2 years. And then we have a plan for a strategy of really fast scale up. So we will have 2 years of research. We have some partners. So we're discussing already with some technological partners that work mainly in the animal industry, animal feeding industry, all those actors, engineers that work around like those industries. They have systems that can be adapted to insects. So we work closely with them to try to adapt them to the breeding of the black soldier fly. And so we also developed on the other side, we developed also contacts with large companies such as Cargill, such as CP in Thailand, or other like feed companies, Thai Union as well, that are really large feed manufacturers for the whole industry. And so we try to develop formulation and a new product that could replace, the current ones. So this is some work that will take 4 or 5 years, to get there. But in 5 years, we expect to be in industrial scale already to be able to supply the market.
Okay. So when you're saying you're going to be at industrial scale, what is your industrial scale vision? Like what markets do you plan on servicing, and what volumes are you talking about?
Right. So as I was saying, we start with pet food industry, but we want to move to aquaculture when it makes sense. That will be probably in 3 years. That's what we expect. In 3 years, we will start targeting the aquaculture industry. There's also the poultry and swine industry that just opened in terms of regulation. They authorize now the insect. So this is something we're going to go towards as well, but it's a really new market. So a lot of trials needs to be done first. But in terms of volumes, so we expect to be at 15,000 tons per year of protein production in 5 years. And then like from this model, we want to build a model that could be replicated basically. So once we get to this model, that could be replicated anywhere in the world and at the same scale. So then it's just like a multiplication, of factories and plants basically.
Okay. So which markets, which geographic regions are you talking about here?
So we start with Thailand. We like there's a lot of resources, agricultural resources that we could use in Thailand because we need to be close to obviously our source of feed for the insects because we're talking a lot of volumes there. And Thailand is really a good place for this. The agriculture sector is really big. Then we will definitely grow in Asia and Southeast Asia. But then we target also like obviously the US and Europe are also like a large place where there's space to grow. And they're also like consumers. Yeah.
Okay, great. So you've laid out a plan for growth and wanting to scale up to industrial level outputting, you said 150,000 tons?
15,000 tons.
15,000 tons. Yes, okay, and all those markets. So let's talk about, so what do you need in order to get there in terms of financing?
So for this pilot, we start with 1.2 million, 1 million euros actually. So that's our seed round, 1 million euro. We already have about 70% committed, verbally committed from investors. So we keep raising. We believe to close this round end of August, and so start the projects like around October, November. But as I was saying as well, we want to go fast in the scale up to get like to large volumes as soon as possible. And so we will fundraise basically every 2 years, more or less. So already our next series will be end of 2022. And so we'll be looking around like 6 to 8 million already euros in order to go to the next level.
What are you optimistic about overall in this market?
Well, I'm optimistic that the whole system will change. That's why I got into this industry originally. That's why I became an entrepreneur. I believe in like humanity in general. It's a bit like maybe cheesy, but that's the way I believe. I believe we are resilient, but we need to make some changes. And food is a big part of our life, obviously, and is really important. And I believe in this trend of sustainability, of like bringing another like approach to the way we feed ourselves and we feed our animals. And I believe insects will be like a big part of it. And I believe it will succeed. Yeah.
I mean, I would say now is a great time for people's cheesy dreams to save the world to come true, because now is a time where you can actually turn it into a successful business, right? It's like, it feels like the trend is here.
I agree. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, great. Well, Nico, that was a great session, very informative, and thank you so much for talking to us today. And then how can we reach out to you? Actually, that's the last question.
So you can contact us directly through our website, for example. So thecricketlab.com, which is the crickets part, and the flylabfeed.com. is our website for the Black Soldier Fly project. For fundraising, you can go directly through Atlas. Yes, through Atlas through Atlas VC fund. So I'm part of this accelerator right now. That is really helping me, like connecting with different stakeholders in the industry. And so so we are raising funds through Atlas Fund.
Yeah. And we'll put all the links to everything you mentioned in the description. Great. All right, Nico, thank you so much, and I wish you all the best and success for fundraising. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you. Thanks. Have a good day. Bye.